Okay. Hello, Bookers. I'm back again. Look like Mr. Zuckerberg wasn't happy with my live feed yesterday, so they took it down. Um, that's okay. I'm not quite sure if it was because I spoke about the right to bear arms, and we as a people should think about doing just that. I mean, it's a constitutional right. Others do it. Um, I don't know if it's because I went on to say that Trump is an asshole. Maybe that's why it came down, but nonetheless, if they can prove that he's not an asshole, I'll apologize. Until then, Trump is an asshole. And I'm not sure if it's because it was my opinion that they gunned down Mr. Floyd like a dog in the street. And I don't understand why they don't understand why we are so emotionally distraught by this. I mean, it's no secret that African Americans have been being murdered by the hands of cops and Caucasians for the last 400 years. I think the reason that they don't understand how upset we are is because we witnessed a live execution. That was a live execution. We sat there and watched this gun happy, white, prejudiced police and his cronies. His cronies stood around and watched him murder this man in broad daylight in front of millions of people that phone video got shown to. Now, if Zuckerberg or Facebook or Twitter got a problem with me talking about that, I don't understand why they don't have a problem with taking down every video on Facebook that shows this man was murdered in plain sight. He was executed in plain sight. And my anger yesterday wasn't directed at every Caucasian. It wasn't directed at every police officer. My anger was directed at the fact that we witnessed a live execution. And those four cops got to go home and have dinner. They got to go home and kiss their kids. They got to go home and have the TV turned off and not know that their daddies or if there were any female officers are murderers. Mr. Floyd's family didn't get that. They didn't get that same opportunity. They didn't get that same opportunity. And I'm not going to be silenced. We as a people are not going to be silenced. I'm outraged. And as I sit here and speak today on this video, they still at home, enjoying life as it is. I'm upset because we're out there rioting. I don't think it's right. We're out there rioting and tearing things down. But that's because our anger needs to be channeled somewhere. It's hard to sit up here and watch. I mean, Mr. Floyd wasn't just another brother in the street. That was our brother. That was our father. That was our mentor. That was our family. That was our son. And so that's why the anger and people are reacting the way they are. It's a live execution. Nobody was there for him to say his final goodbyes. We as a black people, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, when you get to the point that you are in that much pain that you call out for your mom, you know that all else has given up on you, and that's the last hope you got. And she coming whether or not she live or die. That man begged for his life. He begged for his life. Something must be done. And we're talking about giving the cops more training. I applaud you, the chief of that department and the mayor. You don't need more training. You need to go through and wipe that whole department clean and build it back up. Pick it off one by one. Now I understand that this cop had several, more than 10 complaints about him over the years, and nothing was addressed. No recommendation for punishment was addressed. But he was promoted. He was given accommodations. How long? And yes, and again, let me say this. Even if you guys delete it, we as a people, it's a constitutional right to bear arms. And I suggest you bear arms. And again, I said it yesterday. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And we don't have a right. You guys, you police don't have a right to just take a life and that it's okay. So how dare you let them go home? How dare you haven't picked them up and charged them? Give them a fair trial if that's what it calls for. But they don't get to go home and sleep. They lost their jobs. Do you think nobody else is going to hire these white men? Are you serious? I don't care if they security. They're going to pay them their just due and put them on the job. It's wrong. We need to take a stand. We need to let the Floyd family know that we stand with them. We need to let Minnesota know we stand with them. And again, I said yesterday to my Caucasian friends, and again, I repeat, I have Caucasian friends. And I don't pick friends lightly. You earn my friendship. And I do what's right to keep yours. I think you should speak out. Use your white privilege, which I said yesterday, and that might be another reason that they took my post down. But you keep taking them down, because sooner or later I'm gonna get on TV and say what I need to say, and it'll reach further than just Facebook. It'll reach where it needs to reach. Use your white privilege to tell your white counterparts and your police officers what you did was wrong. And you let them know, had it been you as a white woman or a white man, you don't think it would have turned out that way. Because I think we do better when we know better. So you let them know that you don't condone that type of behavior, and that you know what's going on, and you demand change. And as for my people and the people who care about democracy and freedom for all, get to the voting booths. Get to the voting booths, because when I tell you we got a real live one in that White House right now, we have a real live one in that White House right now. Things are going to have to get better. How long do you think we're going to keep turning the other cheek? And my heart goes out to the people and the spectators that watched this man die, because I know that it broke their hearts that they didn't do anything in fear of retaliation of being killed too. And that's just how things are. I don't know. I'm only speaking for myself. I don't know if I could have stood there and let that happen. I would have just had to take my chances. I'm not faulting anyone else, but I can imagine the pain that they must have lived through. That man took his last breath on that ground. I don't give a damn what they said about him expiring at the hospital. He called out for his mom. Blood came out his nose. And from what I'm understanding, he urinated. He died. He died right there, handcuffed from the time that they touched him. And then all I can picture in my mind is this cop looking up while hearing people saying, "Come on, man, let him up. He already cuffed, man. He can't breathe, man. He can't breathe." And the more they said that, the harder he put his knee on that man's neck. How dare you, you coward. How dare you, you coward. I'm out that you guys do something, band together, support this, give the city an opportunity to make it right. Give them an opportunity to bring justice to this. Don't go down and burn every place that you live. They don't care. They'll build back up. It doesn't make no sense. You can do a quiet you don't even have to protest. Be at that courthouse and be at those voting booths. It wasn't just a couple of weeks ago Aubrey was killed for nothing. Then here we go again. Wait till all the facts are in. Wait till we do the whole investigation. Do what you want to do. Point A, he got out the car, already handcuffed. Point Z, we're going to skip B all the way through till we get to Z. Point A, he got out that car, handcuffed. Point Z, he died on the ground in front of our eyes after never having the cuffs taken off of him. We don't need no explanation. Need some justice. And if you guys want peace in that city moving forward, in that state, I advise you guys to bring some justice to this and bring some light. And moving forward, there must be transparency. There has to be transparency in order to have peace. I'm praying for that family. I reach out to that family. And if I could even get to this man's wake or funeral, I would just do that. And I don't know where time stands, but I want that family to know that we in Rochester, New York, we just a little bitty town up on the upstate New York. We're not New York City. This is Rochester, New York. I have spoken to so many people who are mourning as though they lost a blood relative. That's how painful and that's how hurt that was. And for my friend, I'm not going to mention her name, she's my white friend. And she was very humble when she called me this morning after she saw my post. And she just said, Sandra, I know we've had this conversation over and over, but, it just kind of bothers me when I hear African Americans say, Black Lives Matter, but I think all lives matter. And that's what it needs to be changed to. And as humble as I could, I said, honey, you don't know nothing about being Black. You don't know nothing about how our lives don't matter to Caucasian people. I understand when you speak about it, but when we say Black Lives Matter, that's because we know that they do. It's just like Caucasians don't know. All Caucasians don't know that they know. And then she turns around and says, well, it's a lot of Black on Black crime. Honey, how did we get here? How did we get here? Was it the poverty? Was it the lack of jobs? Was it the point where, I can give you an example. My daughter went to college, went to go for a job. And she asked for a certain salary. This is right out of college. She didn't get it, but they gave an administrative assistant, a white girl, $5,000 more than they started her with. But because I raised her to be who she is, let me tell you something. She's got a wonderful job now. And she turned down an $85,000 salary. You know why? Because she know who she is. You don't get her for half price. You don't get her for free. So everybody needs to be treated the same. We got to take a stand. You got to know your self-worth. You got to know who you are. And for all of those, and for those young Black and young people getting out of college, know your self-worth, honey. Know yourself. Don't let nobody sell you short. Don't you sit up there and spend $100,000 in student loans, tell somebody that they're going to pay you $20,000 less than you worth. We have to train our children up out the womb. And yes, we have to train them how to approach police officers who are racist. But it starts in the police department and the chief and the captain. You understand what I'm saying? You learn them how to deal with us. And that citizen police board is a joke. I applaud that Mayor Warren get in the city and get some African Americans and some young men who done been in the streets, who done been to jail, changed their lives, come out and help educate these police officers as well and our young people. Because God knows if it happens in Rochester, New York, we probably would have lost a whole lot more people out there. Because the anger that's going on now about the situation is heart-wrenching, but I understand it. I support it. I'm that. I'm Aubrey's family because he Black while jogging. I'm Mr. Floyd's family. A $20 counterfeit bill. So what? Take it from him. You guys remember when that little white boy blew up that church and you took him to Burger King? See, I'm going to end this live and I'm going to come back later because I'm getting really, really upset because everything I hear on the news don't justify nothing. Show me when you go pick those 4 officers up and charge them. Give them a fair trial. Give them a fair trial. But in the meantime, I'm asking everyone who's angered, whites, Spanish, Blacks, anger, channel your anger somewhere else right now. Let's give them a chance to see if they're going to do the right thing. We're used to them not doing the right thing. Zimmerman, all these, we're used to them not doing the right thing. But let's give them a chance. They say they care. I see the mayor on there crying out. I see the police chief has spoken out. Now put your money where your heart at. I'm waiting.